Hey guys, wanted to do a bit of a review product. This is a Sunglife 150 watt power inverter for your vehicles. Takes your 12 volt power DC, converts it to 110 volt, 120 volt AC. So this product was actually sent to me by Sunglife, and we're going to do a review on it. First things first, honestly it's a decent little size inverter. Take it out of the packaging. The owner's manual. I'm a guy, I can figure it out. So, starts, it's a pretty decent size. 2 AC outlets. Got a 2.4 amp chargers and a 3 amp quick charge port. Power button. Looks like we have a 12 volt DC accessories socket there. I'm going to get this cord unraveled. I'm going to get it plugged into my 12 volt accessories outlet, and we'll be back. Alright, so I got her plugged in, sitting up on the dash. Honestly, it's got a pretty decent length of a power cord there. Place it on my center console here. So for starts, I'm going to plug in my, this is for my TPMS. I've got the valve stem mounted sensors. Just going to plug that in. I'm going to see if it powers up. Okay, that's a win so far. That powered up, showing me my tire pressures. Well, let's test and see if this is actually household AC power. Blue light to turn on. I've got a DVOM here, digital volts and ohm meter. We're going to go volts. It's set for AC auto. I can't probe that. Hold on a second. Alright, just took off the tip protectors. So you're going to probe this. Hot. That should be neutral. And we should have anywhere between 115 to 125-ish volts from my experience with these power inverters. We are sitting at 128.2. Does it go up when I rev the engine up? Not really. So it sits at 128. Let's check how it's grounded. It is grounded. Okay. Well, that's a win. I need to get a USB cable and test out some charging features. So we will come back when I've gotten a cable to test out the charge features here, and we'll see what items we can and cannot power. Now this is only 150 watts, so you're really not going to be, powering up a coffee maker in the vehicle. You might be able to power up a small TV, but it's going to be more so designed to charge laptops and maybe some drill batteries, your cell phones via your household chargers if you want, and small things like that. So anyways, we will come back with some appliances and some USB cables and stuff to test out. Alright, so we are back. As you can see, I have a lamp here, and I have an assortment of light bulbs. I've also got a 75 watt 12 volt power inverter. This is going to be used to test and compare against the Sunglife power inverter. So, that said, to start things off with, I'm going to plug my little guy here in, 75 watt power inverter in. Don't know if y'all can see that green light there. She's on. Now this is what I would usually use in my truck to charge my cell phone. I would usually keep this plugged into my 12-volt accessory socket, and I would have my phone charger and my cable here because my phone allows quick charging. And so when I'm driving and whatnot, this is what I would use. This would be my setup to charge my phone normally. I'm hoping to replace this with this, but we're going to put it through its paces. So first things, I'm going to plug my 75 watt inverter into this. Now it's a 12 volt accessory socket. Should be capable of providing the same power output as my regular 12 volt socket on my dash. So it's plugged in. The little green light is on. Now to start things off, 75 watts is the max capability of this Eliminator small guy here. This black light bulb is 75 watts. So that's going to be pushing the max capability out of my little guy. Plug it in. I don't know if you can see that. It's turned on. Now I've never actually plugged a light bulb into this little inverter before. So 75 watts, like nothing. I have here with me, this is a Fluker's 100 watt basking bulb. It's actually for my lizard. I'm gonna thread it into this lamp here. I'm still connected into my little inverter. That's 100 watts coming out of a little inverter, just as an FYI. Okay. I did not expect that. 150 watt floodlight in my little inverter. All right. Will not do 150 watts. Oh, it wanted to briefly. It'll just keep surging on and off apparently at 150 watts. So this guy's going off. That actually surprised me a lot. I did not expect that from this guy. For it to take a 100 watt basking lamp for a lizard. I mean, I didn't think it would do 150. The fact that it wants to power it up, that's impressive. But let's go with Sunglife. This is what we were here to review. I just wanted a comparison. So the Sunglife, it's not hot yet. We are going to go with the 75 watt black lamp. Plug it in. My mistake. Yeah. 75 watts. Honestly, I didn't think it would struggle one bit. 100 watts. Powered it up like nothing. Yeah. Absolutely like nothing. 150 watts. Well, it states it's a 150 watt power inverter. I can contest that at the very least, it'll power 150 watts. Now I'm going to take my multimeter, which is up over here. This has an amp meter on it. I'm setting it to 20 amps AC power. Let's see if this 150 watt bulb's pulling 150 watts. I literally just got this thing today, so DC amps. 0.48 amps. Yeah, I'm sure that's not actually accurate. AC. Oh, it's on AC. Something's fishy. Try DC. I don't know. Either way, light bulb states it's 150 watts. I'm going to call it 150 watts because I don't have a watts meter. I'm going to shut that down. It's a little toasty. I can unthread it here though. So now we're going to push it. Here is the 100 watt light bulb. Now, we're gonna push it. Well, you just did 100 watts. Well, here with me, I have a light setup for my lizard, and I'm throwing my 75 watt bulb on there. That is gonna be 175 watts of power being pulled from the inverter. Oh, and she just turned red. So 175 watts, it will not power up. Briefly, and shuts down. Can't really fault it. I mean, they did say it's only a 150 watt power inverter. So now, let's find out what it can go up to. We know that it does 150 watts. Now, in all honesty, that was 175 watts. What do I have that pulls less than 25 watts as a light bulb? I know, I'll be right back. Alright. This is an LED bulb. It is made by Philips. It is, if you'll focus, it's not really focusing, but it is an 8.5 watt LED light bulb. So we already know that this will do 150 watts. we know that it will not do 175 watts. So this would be 158.5. Why? Well, because I didn't have a 10 watt LED bulb. It powered up. You know what? I think I have a 10 watt LED light bulb inside. I'm gonna go get it. We'll be right back. Again. Alright. I found a 15 watt LED. I mean, it says it there in marker because I marked it, but in small writing, right down there, it does state it is a 15 watt LED light bulb. So that would make this a total of 165 watts of power being pulled. Oh, maybe it would help if I hit the switch. Oh, it's reset. It powers, but not for long. It does go red after a few seconds. There you go. So 165 watts. It will not power up. $158.5 watts. It will run all day long. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. That fan is definitely working hard. But it is taking 158.5 watts of power. Not flickering, not dimming. It's taking it all without an issue. So, for what it is, a small little power inverter to power up your laptops. I mean, if you really wanted to power up a 150 watt lamp inside your vehicle, I mean, feel free to. It'll take that all day and it won't be fazed by it one bit. It will not take 165 watts. We figured that out. So, Sunglife states this is a 150 watt power inverter. I can contest that yes, it is in fact a 150 watt power inverter. Not bad at all. So anyways, if you guys want to buy one of these, I'll leave the link down in the description below. Honestly, this is pretty handy, pretty cool. It's not overly big. It sits up on the dashboard of my truck without any problem. Like I said, my main use for this guy is going to be for my TPMS sensor. Sits up on the dash. I can monitor my tire pressures. When I get another one and hooked up to my RV trailer, I could put a little splitter on this. I can then monitor both my truck and my trailer for tire pressures. When I'm down the road, I'm safe. I've got 3 outlets up here to charge my phone with, or whatever USB powered device I have with me at the time. The 3.0, I did test it. Unfortunately, I can't show it to you because I'm using my cell phone as my camera currently. But it truly does quick charge. I've got the Samsung Galaxy a 8, I believe it is. I don't know. It's a phone, does YouTube, does Google, does Facebook, and I can call and text people. It's good enough for me. Either way, it does fast charge, so I'm happy with that. I can plug this in. If I've got a very low battery, I need to get some power into it quickly, it'll do that through the USB, no problem. 3 amp charge out of the USB, two 2.5 amp charge, or sorry, 2.4 amp chargers as well. So you can charge your phone, your tablet, your iPod all at the same time. You could plug in your laptop to charge while you're on the road, and maybe you've got some camera batteries that you want to charge. You can plug all of that into this guy and still have a 12-volt accessory socket. Now, keep in mind, you don't want to exceed the power capacity or capability of your 12-volt accessory socket on your vehicle. Make sure you know what that is rated for. Mine is rated at 20 amps of current pulled through it. So that I have to keep in mind. If I exceed more than 20 amps of DC power, 12-volt power... What is beeping at me? Oh, my multimeter. I should turn that guy off. If you exceed more than, in my case, 20 amps of DC power off of my one 12-volt accessory outlet, a cigarette lighter, it'll blow the fuse, whether that's under the hood or behind the dashboard of the vehicle, whatever. You exceed your capacity there, you'll blow that fuse. You exceed the 150 watts capacity on here, it'll shut down. Now, what is watts and amps and all that? Well, you can figure out how many watts you can pull based off of the amperage. Volts times amps equals watts. So 12 volts times that by 20 amps, 220? I don't know, something like that. Somewhere in that 200 watt range. So in theory, I should never blow that fuse on behind my dash with this guy, because it's got that shutdown feature on there, where if you exceed the 150 watts, 160 watt mosquito. It's that time of year already. Oh, squirrel. Where was I? Oh yeah, this will shut down at about 158.5 watts. 159, 160. Probably the 160, I mean, it pulled 158.5, no problem. 160, she may shut down. I know 165, it wants to shut down, so we'll call it 160. Either way, if you exceed the 150, 160 watts of this thing, this will shut down before you blow the fuse behind your dash, as long as it is a 20 amp fuse. Now, if yours is a 15 amp fuse, that's going to be pushing it. Now, don't just go swapping a 20 amp fuse into there, because that's where car fires start. Putting a bigger fuse in a spot it was not designed for. Don't do that. Never do that. So, I know that all of my 12-volt accessories in the truck are on a factory 20 amp fuse. I got one on the dash. Stupid mosquito. I have one on the center console and another one back there. Each of them are on their own individual circuit at 20 amps. That said, I could power this guy on one circuit. I could get a second one of these powered on a second circuit. I could get a third one and powered on a third circuit. I personally would be fine. You guys might not. So, that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will leave a link to this Sunglife power inverter down in the description below off Amazon. I think it was roughly that $30 mark. And for $30, this is not bad at all. I highly recommend this. Not only because it was given to me, I mean, awesome. thank you, Sunglife. I appreciate the product. But even if I personally had stupid mosquito, if I had to buy this myself, I would totally recommend this every day, day in, day out, to anybody who's looking for a small little power inverter to keep in their vehicle. I've got several power inverters. I mean, I had a 3,000 watt in my motorhome. I had a 300 watt sitting up on the dash of the motorhome to keep devices charged while I was on the road. So I've had power inverters in every single one of my vehicles. I've got a 500 watt inverter in my Jeep, which is right beside me. I mean, they're nice to have and everything, but for the average everyday, 150 watts is more than enough. And this guy is wonderful. So, anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, I ask that you give me a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy this video, give me a thumbs down. I mean, it still goes into the YouTube algorithm. So anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Take care.